Welcome to the series of database management system. Today we will start with the new unit that is relational model. We will see in this particular chapter what are basic terms in relational model, keys and relational algebra operations. As we know that there are multiple models which are used for representing the databases. One of the important model which is used for designing the databases is relational model. The relational model is mostly used for commercial purpose for the data processing application which achieve its primary position because of its simplicity which make the job of the programmer easier. Earlier, the models which are used by the database designer are network model and hierarchical model. These models are little bit difficult for translating the model into the actual code. But the relational model is very simple and it is easy to show, it's easy to translate from relational model to the uh, actual coding. In the relational model, we will be having a grid-type structure that is called table, which is consist of row and column. Every table is called as a relation in this, and in the relation we will be having particular attribute which is called tuple. Uh, Tuple is nothing but the row of a table. Then we have attribute which is a column of a table, and we have a relations like one table is related with the another table. So there are different type of cardinality which is present in the relational model. Now we will see what are the some basic terms of relational model. Number one, relation. Relation is nothing but the another name for a table. Whenever we use a relational model, at that time if we are using relation, that relation is nothing but a table name. Okay, it is a table name. Like for example, here in this particular example, if you see here, the relation name is sensor data. Okay, this is the sensor data. The name of the relation is sensor data. If we have a student table, student table, so that is the student relation. Like we have one table which is having a name as student table. So at the time we are not saying student is a table, but we will say student is a relation. Next is tuple. A tuple is a row of a relation. Like for example, if I consider this particular table, 1, 3, 10, 14.3. It is a first row. So that first row is in the relational algebra model, it is called tuples. So the tuples are nothing but a row of the relation. Then we have attribute. An attribute is a named column of a relation, or it is a property of an entity. Entity is nothing but the real life word. When we have a real life word like student, at that time, the property which it consists is called attribute. So attribute is a property of an entity. Then we have, like for example, in this particular example, if you see sensor data is a relation, then ID, sensor ID, time and values. These are the attribute. Next is cardinality. Cardinality defines the number of attribute of in one entity set which can be associated with the number of attribute of the other set by a relationship set. In simple word, it refers to the relationship of one table with the another table. Like we know that when we consider database management system, there are four relationships which can exist between the tables. That is one to one to many to one, and many to many. So these are the cardinalities. What it will give us? It will give us the number of unique values that appear in one table for a particular column. Then we have degree of relationship. The entity occupied in a particular relationship type are referred as participant in the relationship. The number of participants involved in a relationship type is termed as degree of relationship set. The number of participants who are involved in the relationship type like it may be 1, 2, or 3. So that is referred as a degree of relationship set. Now next is domain. What is a domain? A domain is a set of allowed value for one particular attribute. Like for example, if you consider ID, for the ID, what are the allowed value? Like if I take a ID and if I specify the data type for ID is integer, so the number of values which is allowed in case of ID are 1, 2, 3 up to infinite, but it has to be a number. So if we consider a domain, it is a set of allowed value for a particular attribute. Like for example, if suppose we have a student relation, and the student relation we have a name as an attribute. So for name, we know that name is nothing but the composition. It is a collection of characters like alphabets. So at that time, if we put like Sabha 1, 2, 3, so that is not the allowed value because name is always in the text format. Next. So these are the some basic topics of the relational model. We will be looking towards the next topic, that is keys and relational algebra operation in the next lecture. If you have any doubt, you can write in the comment box.